here again to scare up some fun. Because how else would you scare up some fun on a Friday night other than to look at some books? I used to have a huge library of all my favorite authors and books that I had read over the years. Quite a lot of stuff by Stephen King, John Irving, Isaac Asimov, Orson Scott Card, Robert Heinlein, a lot of sci-fi stuff. I've gotten rid of probably almost my entire book collection because I had read some of the books 2 times or more and figured if I did actually read any of them again in my lifetime, I could just actually check them out from the library. So I've been trying to narrow it down to books that had sentimental value or autographs or ones that I will use more often, like field guides as reference materials and stuff like that. And these are 2 that I got recently. This one was, and all prices are in Canadian dollars tonight, so it actually works out to a little cheaper in American money. But these are all ones I found recently. These are golden guides. This one was from a used bookstore, $6.95. This one was from animal rescue, like auxiliary thrift store, and it was 50 cents. They're both the same basic book, but this one was printed in 1983 and this one was printed in 1966. But I just love the artwork of these old guides and the way the birds that look similar are displayed side by side, and you can really get a good overview when you're trying to identify something, and you can kind of like get in the area that you think it looks similar and go from there. I usually find that these aren't enough to completely identify a bird, but then I usually get on Google or Instagram and look at other real images and see what I can find. This one's not in as good a shape, but at 50 cents you can't really go wrong. One of the things I've noticed that I like about the used bookstores and even the thrift stores in Vancouver is they're incredibly organized. So if I ask for field guides, instead of looking through all the used books like I usually have to do, somebody that works there can usually point me to the proper section. And even the thrift stores usually have at least a garden or pet section, and I've noticed that a lot of these guides will be in that section. This one is another golden guide that I believe cost $1 at a different thrift store. Wildflowers. And this one's like in pretty much perfect condition. And then this insect guide was from another used bookstore that was a total mess inside, but they knew what was in each stack and they were able to point me right to it. And I didn't have an insect field guide yet. I still want to get a more comprehensive one, but this one's pretty decent. It's got a lot of information, and it's got a bunch of color pictures just right in the middle for identification. And then the final book I wanted to show is a caterpillar's guide, which is awesome. I actually have a very similar butterfly book guide, which is almost the same thing, except for basically it seems like what they did is they put larger drawings of the caterpillars, and that'll help a lot for me to find them because I'm more likely to see the butterflies when I'm out, But then if I have a rough idea what the caterpillar looks like, I can start turning over leaves. The other book I have, the artwork's very similar. I think it is a Peterson too. And it's got, you know, the butterflies, and then it might have a little tiny caterpillar next to it. So this was pretty neat, especially for $4.99, and this was from an Overstock bookstore. So their books are new. Some of them have the mark on the top because they were Overstock. A few had some like roughed up covers, but this one's actually in really good shape. Now this one was only $7.95 brand new, so I want to see what year it came out. Copyright 93. So yeah, this one's pretty old too, but it's obviously never been looked at. And I'll keep this kind of short, maybe flip through a few more of the flowers. And I can't really remember what else I wanted to add about these pickups, but I'm very happy to get all these books cheap. And I do find the books with the art to be quite helpful. And they also remind me a lot of being a little kid when I would get the smaller golden guides, like the pocket guides, out of the library. And I would always bring them home and look through them and look at all the pictures and read about the bugs and the birds. And then I'd go outside and I'd be able to see like a cardinal and worms and ants. I can never find all this crazy stuff. And I'm just now starting to see some of it as an adult through patience and through photography, sticking my phone down in the dirt or zooming in on insects that are across the water on the cattails or wherever. And that's all for now.